In today's video, we shall be telling you about the latest from the United States, as Donald Trump announces sweeping tariffs on imports across the world. Escalating global trade war. President Donald Trump on Wednesday unveiled a 10% minimum tariff on most goods imported to the United States, with much higher duties on products from dozens of countries, kicking into high gear a global trade war that threatens to drive up inflation and stall U.S. and worldwide economic growth. The sweeping duties, which drew bewildered condemnation from many long-standing U.S. allies who found themselves tagged with unexpectedly high tariff rates, promised to erect new barriers around the world's largest consumer economy, reversing decades of trade liberalization that have shaped the global order. Trading partners are expected to respond with countermeasures of their own that could lead to dramatically higher prices for everything from bicycles to wine. Stocks slumped after the announcement. Japan's Nikkei hit an 8-month low in early trading on Thursday, while U.S. and European stock futures dropped sharply following weeks of volatile trading driven by uncertainty over the escalating trade war. U.S. stocks have erased nearly $5 trillion of value since mid-February. Chinese imports will be hit with a 34% tariff, on top of the 20% Trump previously imposed, bringing the total new levy to 54%. Close U.S. allies were not spared, including the European Union, which faces a 20% tariff, and Japan, which is targeted for a 24% rate. The base rates go into effect on April 5th and the higher reciprocal rates on April 9th. The reciprocal tariffs, Trump said, were a response to duties and other non-tariff barriers put on U.S. goods. He argued that the new levies will boost manufacturing jobs at home. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped and plundered by nations near and far, both friend and foe alike. Trump said at an event in the White House Rose Garden. Outside economists have warned that tariffs could slow the global economy, raise the risk of recession, and increase living costs for the average U.S. family by thousands of dollars. Canada and Mexico, the two largest U.S. trading partners, already face 25% tariffs on many goods and will not face additional levies from Wednesday's announcement. Within hours of Wednesday's announcement, the Senate voted 51-48 to approve legislation that would terminate Trump's Canadian tariffs, with a handful of Republicans breaking with the president. Passage in the Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives, however, was seen as unlikely.
Effective at midnight, we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles. Starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations. It's been a long time since we even thought of that. We used to think about it a lot. We didn't think about it for many decades, and you see what's happened. For nations that treat us badly, we will calculate the combined rate of all their tariffs, non-monetary barriers, and other forms of cheating. And because we are being very kind, we're kind people, very kind. You're not so kind when you get ripped off with your salaries. My auto worker friends and my Teamster friends and all of the unions that typically voted Democrat, they're not voting Democrat anymore because worker, whether union or non-worker, they're for the Republicans now. That's what happened. But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. If you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariff charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be because we never charge anybody anything, but now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly, they rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. we're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46% and much higher for certain items like cars, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left, and he's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades, and it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China and charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs, and they understood, honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand, and the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination. But I went to him and I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. Trade is not fair. He said, I know that. I know that. And he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but he understood immediately what I was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left on the deal that was made previous to my getting there, but it was something. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%. Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia. Oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49%. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%, and we'll go 10%. So we'll do the same thing. South Africa, 60%, 30%, and they've got some bad things going on in South Africa. We're paying them billions of dollars, and we cut the funding because a lot of bad things are happening in South Africa. The fake news ought to be looking at it. They don't want to report it. Brazil, 10%, 10%. Bangladesh is 74%. So you see what's going on. Pakistan, 58%. Sri Lanka, 88%. So what we're doing is we're taking not the full, we could take the full 88%. Thanks a lot. He's doing a very good job. How's he doing? All right. At the same time, we will establish a minimum baseline tariff of 10%. You notice that on the chart. And that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating. So we're going to have a minimum of cheating, and we're going to be very severe on the people that at the gate that watch the tariffs and watch the product coming in, because there's been a lot of bad things happening at the gate because the money is so enormous that you're talking about. There's never been probably anything like it in terms of the enormity, and there are a lot of bad things happen at the people that do the check-in, and they're looking at 10-year jail sentences if they do play. We're going to treat them so good, but if they cheat, the repercussions are going to be extremely strong.
And that draws the curtain on the latest news from the United States regarding the latest from the United States, as Donald Trump announces sweeping tariffs on imports across the world, escalating global trade war. If you found this information valuable and you're eager for more most updated information and immigration tips to successfully migrate, then kindly like and share our videos and subscribe to this channel. Then don't forget to hit the notification button to have all our latest videos produced. If you need help, however, with specifics or individualized services in particular, please feel free to contact us by electronic mail, and let's create this success story together. Thank you, and see you at the next video.